Hello, my friends. We're going to be doing Check My Progress today. We're wrapping up this chapter. We have 2 Check My Progresses left. This is on page 757. This is one of the earlier Check My Progresses in the chapter. And so it's going to cover some scaling and some multiplication of fractions. So let's, if you need more time to get that page, 757, then go ahead and pause here until you found it and are ready to go. We're going to fill in this definition. Scaling is the process of resizing a number when you multiply by a fraction that is greater than or less than 1. That's what we did last week, resizing those numbers. Okay, concept check. Let's do this. A cool thing that I have not shown you is that you can use shading to do multiplication. I'm going to show you that really fast. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is that we've got 2/5 times 1/2. So 2/5, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I can color 2/5 of it in one color, and then I can go the other way and color half of the whole thing. And your answer, my dear friends, is the one that is the new color, this color right here. So we've got 1, 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 10. Or you can simplify that, of course, to be 1/5. But you also just multiply across the top. 2 times 1 is 2. Multiply across the bottom. 5 times 2 is 10. So either way, it's the same. So 3/4 times 3/5. Multiply across the top and get 9, multiply across the bottom and get 20. And if you colored that in, you've got 3/4. This is the 4ths method, 3 of them. And then the other way is 3/5. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we color 3 of them. Your answer is the overlap. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 20. So just so you know that you can do that. Okay, number 4, 5, 6, and 7. I want you to do those, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then come back and we're going to check our work. So please pause here, pause the video here, and come back and we'll check that work. Okay, you multiply across the numerator to get 1 times 4 is 4. Multiply across the denominator to get 2 times 8 is, or 9 times 2 is 18. They're both even, so I know I can divide out of 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 8 divided by 2 is 9. Simplest form, that's your answer. Number 5, multiply across the numerator. 4 times 5 is 20. Multiply across the denominator. 5 times 6 is 30. I can divide a 2 out of those. I can divide what's the greatest common factor? 10. 20 divided by 10 is 2. 30 divided by 10 is 3. You could also have crossed those 5s off to begin with, and you could have factored out a 2 as well. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then you would have had 2/3 if you want to do the simplifying first. On number 6, you had to convert this. So it was 4 times 3 is 12 plus 2, 13, 14/3 times 1/5. Multiply across the numerator. 1 times 14 is 14. Multiply across the denominator. 5 times 3 is 15. 14/15. They're one number apart, so you know you're already simplified. Number 7 has 2 mixed numbers, so you had to do 8 times 7 is 56, plus 1 is 57 over 8, times, we got to fix this one, 6 times 2 is 12, plus 5, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 sixths. Holy moly, 57 times 17, those are high numbers, so you're going to have to go 57 times 17. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 5 is 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. I'm finished with my 1s. I cross them off and immediately write my 0. 7 times 1 is 7. 1 times 5 is 5. Now I add 9 plus 0 is 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. 5 plus 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and plus 1 is 9. 969 over 48. Now, honestly, Mrs. Bodell does not know if that is simplified. That's a giant number. I would at this point typically check it on a calculator because we're talking about such big numbers. We know that they're both not even, so we can't take out a 2. My rules for 3 is it has to, if I add the digits up, 9 plus 9 is 18 plus 6 is 24. That is divisible by 3. So is 48 divisible by 3? Yes. So we can actually divide the top and the bottom by 3. So 969 divided by 3. 3 goes into 9 3 times. Bring down. 3 goes into 6 2 times. Bring down. 3 goes into 9 3 times. There's nothing. So we've got 323 over 48 divided by 3. 1 time is 16. Whew! That is a tricky one. 16 is only divisible by 1, 4, and 16. And this one's not even, so it can't be divisible by 4. And 16s have to be even as well. So that, my friends, whew, that was a tricky one, is your final answer. Scaling, we have to decide if the product is greater than, less than, or equal to the whole number. Here's my fraction, 4 and an 1/8. Is that greater than 1? It is, so my answer is going to be greater than the whole number. 3/5, that's less than 1, so my answer is going to be less than the whole number. Okay, let's turn that page. Let's do some problem solving. Tom spent 1/6 of his day working in the flower bed. Tom spent 2/3 of that time adding mulch to the flower bed. What fraction of the day did he spend adding mulch? So we've got 1/6 times 2/3. Multiply across the numerator, multiply across the denominator, and now we can simplify, divide both the top and the bottom by 2. My answer is 1/9. He spent 1/9. Let's go, sorry about that, you guys. Let's do 1/9 of his day. Nick spent 1 3/4 hours doing homework. Of that time, of means multiplication, of that time, 2/3 was spent on social studies. How much time did he spend working on that project? So we've got 1 3/4 times 2/3. Now I've got to convert this into a mixed number, or improper fraction. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3. 4 plus 3 is 7/4 times 2/3. Now I multiply across the numerator. 7 times 2 is 14. Multiply across the denominator. 4 times 3 is 12. Now I simplify. Divided by 2, I guess. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 7/6 hours. Or if you want to convert that to a mixed number, it's 1 1/6 hours. 2 more questions and then we're done. 2 more questions and then we're out of here. Anita grew a garden with 3/4 of the area for vegetables. In the vegetable section, 1/6 of, remember of almost always means times, of the carrot area is carrots. What fraction of the total garden is carrots? So we have 3/4 of times 1/6. Multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, simplify. I can divide a 3 out of each. So my answer is 1/8. 1/8 of the garden. Last question, test practice. Mr. Taylor collected apples on Friday. On Saturday, he collected 2/3 of the amount he collected on Friday. How many bushels did Mr. Taylor collect on Saturday? So Friday, it looks like he did 3 2/3. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Friday, it looks like he did 3 2/3. And Saturday, he did 2/3 of that amount. Of that amount. So we're going to multiply. I have to convert this. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11 over 3 times 2 over 3. 11 times 2 is 22. 3 times 3 is 9. Now everything down here is in a mixed number, so you will have to convert it. 22 divided by 9. 9 can fit in there 2 times. Oop, we've just gotten rid of two of those. We know the whole number's 2. Times 18 with 4 left over. 4 becomes my numerator and 9 becomes my denominator. Great work, my friends. Keep it up. We've got one lesson left on this and then we're going to do our test.